It's the 1st of January 2018. I haven't done an update of the arcade for some time, so I thought now's a good time to do it. Just show you around where I keep all my machines, and then I'll show you a bit of the machines themselves. So everything's in a double garage. The garage isn't a dedicated arcade, it's shared between arcade and tool shed. I've blocked up the doors now, so behind there is one garage door. And then the other garage door is not permanently blocked up, it's behind those sheets there. The reasons behind those sheets is there's some sheets and also some polythene as well that covers up the door. That keeps the wind out, and the sheets try and keep some of the heat in as well. The polythene sheet is held on by Velcro, and I can take all that down if I ever need to get a new machine in and out. It's a cheap solution, tries to keep some of the heat in, but allows me to get access to it if I need to. I've also put a roof on, so above there used to be just eaves going up, and again a lot of heat was lost through that, so I just put some plasterboard up, and I got some cheap vinyl covering off of eBay. I found a massive roll for 99p, and I've covered that on there just to make it look better than just plasterboard. And while I'm speaking about heat as well, so to keep the garage heated, I've got a wardrobe heater up there. That's on a thermostat, that's on all the time, that just gets a little bit of heat in here. I've also got a server in here as well, that's on all the time, which adds a little bit of heat. And then in the winter, when it gets really cold, I've got an oil-filled radiator that sits in that corner, and attached to that is a plug, again off eBay from China. So what this does is, when it's plugged in, it measures the temperature, and when the temperature falls below a certain temperature, I have it set to 8 degrees in here. When it falls below 8 degrees, then it turns the radiator on, so that keeps it hot. And then to keep on top of the dampness, I have a humidifier. The humidifier kicks in when the humidity in the garage gets above a certain level. It's got a pipe that takes the water straight to the outside, so I have to keep emptying the reservoir. In previous years I have run it without any heat or any humidity control in the garage, but in those years I tended not to use it at all during those periods, because I'm just scared to turn stuff on in case something blew. And then when I did come back, when it had started to get warmer, there tended to be at least 1 or 2 casualties that hadn't survived the winter. So okay, it does cost me a bit more now to heat it, but it's actually less to heat and stay on top of the humidity than it is to replace the parts that have failed if I don't do it. I've got a wooden floor in the garage all the way throughout. The wooden floor again is courtesy of eBay, people that have been either pulling up their wooden floors or doing their house, and they've ended up with extra bits of wood. So I've got 3 different types of wooden flooring in here that I purchased on 3 different occasions, quite cheap. I used to be just a solid concrete floor, and there was a lot of cold and damp that was coming up through the floor. I wish I had put some sort of damp-proof membrane or some more insulation underneath the wooden floor. I didn't do, but that would have been a better job. But certainly the wooden floor keeps a lot of the cold out, and it also makes moving the machines around a lot easier. When I laid the wooden floor, I didn't actually move the machines out the garage. I just shoved them into a corner and laid the floor underneath the machines and around the machines, and that worked for most of them, except when it came to the pusher over here, and that was a complete pain. I had to jack that thing up to get underneath that. That thing weighs a ton. So I'll start on the machines. This is a Comptons Silver Ski pusher. It's a 6-player pusher. It's got exactly the same on the other side as well, but the back of it's against the wall, so you can't see that. Something that I remember from my youth, I think this machine goes back to 1973, so same year that I was born. Certainly remember seeing it in a few of the arcades in the UK. Just a very simple pusher. I've got it set up 2p on either side and 10p in the middle. I'm saying exactly the same on the other side, but there's no coins on there. Very simple. You put your money in, goes down the chute. If you hit the skier, then it goes down the ramp and you can try and tip over some of the coins on the end. If not, then they just stack up and it just works like any 210p pusher. In decent condition. Got a few spares for it, although I'm always looking out for more spares. You don't see many of these machines now. Very, very simple. It's got a nudge alarm on here that I've disconnected. That doesn't work anymore, but everything else is in working order. There's a little bit of a there, you see that dead spot. So if you watch the ramp, it does it on the way back. So it does it about now. I don't know if they all do that or just mine does that. I've had a look at trying to tighten things up in there, but I can't seem to improve that in any way. This machine here, I went over to somewhere in North Wales to collect this machine. Hired a Luton van, bought it on eBay. The guy's arcade was closing down, and I always wanted a pusher, and I like the looks of this one. As a bonus on the same journey, the guy also had this machine here, which is a point blank 2 machine. Now this, he said, if I wanted to take it away, I could have this for free. The artwork isn't the best. The screen also could do probably with a cap kit on the board. But all in all, it's okay. It's a bit tatty. These things cost a fortune. I keep looking out for replacement guns, but you don't see them very often cheaper than £100, or a lot of money to replace. This one here, this works on free play, or you can put coins in. Let's get it going. So I'm just adding some credits in there. I'm sure most people have seen these before. The gun itself has a sort of a recoil action when you shoot. That still works on this one. Let's just get that. So there you go, when you shoot you can see it recoiling, and then it's a shooting skill game. Lots of different levels, lots of little mini games to play. Yeah, it's quite a fun 2-player game, nice and easy to play as well. Next one along, Cruising Exotica. This one again from Wales, again from eBay. I brought this on from a guy in Tenby. Again, hired a van down to go and get this. And again, this was actually like a bonus buy really. I'd been to Wales to pick up a Sega rally machine for spares, and the guy had this and he let me have this for 50 quid. The machine wasn't working, it was playing blind, so the monitor was broken. I sent the chassis of the monitor off for repair, and now this fully works now. It's in free play at the moment. It's got force feedback steering, accelerator, brake controls, and you can play it in manual or automatic. It's also got a system in here where you can put a code in, and it remembers your score from game to game, so you can continue when you come back to it. Graphics a bit dated now, but not a bad game to play really. In this corner, so this is a main machine. I had a main machine previously, a little bit smaller than this. I went to pick this up a long time ago in Bristol. I've had this a lot of years. This has basically got a PC in here running loads of different emulators. It's currently showing all the MAME games. Massive list of games in there. It's just PC emulation. Choose your game, and then you can play some of the arcade classics. The machine itself only had 3 buttons. I've added another 3 on either side. I added the trackball in the middle as well for games like Marble Madness, and I've also got a light gun on it as well that I've added. There is also, so if you can see, a load of different emulators on here: Amiga, Atari, Daphne, which is games like Dragon's Lair, things like that. See if that works. I think if I remember right, this takes quite a while to load. But yeah, just an old PC in there with some software to run all those games. That's still loading. Come back to that in a second. The next one next to it. So this was a Mega Force touch game. Originally all original, all fully working, but I had a hard disk failure on it. Tried to repair it, couldn't get it working. So again, I ended up converting this one to just a PC with emulating software on there. So this one's running Windows. It's still got the original touch screen in there, but now lots of different games that I've installed on top of Windows. There's Dragon's Lair. So originally this used to run off a laser disc. Now someone's ripped all the movie files into MPEG format, and the emulator again just simulates that laserdisc drive. Very basic game if you haven't played it. Old Dirk there is going through trying to save the princess, and at different positions in the game you have to move the joystick or press the button to try and get him out of whatever predicament he's in. So this one here, back to this one, as I said, it's running Windows. All these are different games in there. Blockbuster, Bullseye, most of them are quiz games, but you've also got things like Angry Birds and games like that. Crazy Golf as well. Let's just go back and choose one, so let's choose Blockbusters. Or maybe not. I thought that one actually worked. Let's try Bullseye. There you go. And into the quiz game. I think that's got about 60, 70 games on there. Next one along, Sega Rally 2. So I already had a Sega Rally, which we'll come to in a bit. This one was from a guy near Birmingham. I went to buy Sega Strike Fighter, which I'll show you in a bit, and also this one. It's a stand-up version. It's on free play. Force feedback, manual or automatic. Accelerator, brake control. Choose your car. Put your name in, and you can either do like time attacks on a particular level, or you can try and get all the way from the start to finish in championship mode. Everything on this machine works really well. Force feedback works well. Nice quality on the screen. Bright, no ghosting really. Yeah, absolutely love that game. I've also got a Daytona 2 board for it. Now, I haven't, other than try it, I haven't actually played a lot of Daytona 2. Maybe this will be the year that I try Daytona 2. Hopefully Bullseye is going to shut up in a minute because that's quite noisy. I'll continue. So the next 3 machines are all fruit machines. This one here, Crazy Casino. All all the fruit machines in here are still on the old money. I haven't changed them over to the new £1 coins, and probably won't do so. Next one, Noel's House Party, based on the TV series with Noel and Mr. Blobby. So this is on Amiga Tech. It's quite a pain to try and find working versions of those boards. The idea on this one is to get the Noel's House Party shields lit, and then if you get if you get 3 in a row lit, you go onto the board at the top, and you can work your way around all the way up to the jackpot. Next one along, I got this one from a guy in Swindon, again a non-worker. This one, the program board was broke due to a leaking battery on this one. It's quite a nice machine. I also used to have a Blackjack Club machine as well, which had a very similar feature with the cards on this one. But I'm not a massive fan of the club machines. I tend to prefer this one, and I ended up getting rid of the Blackjack Club. So if you can see, it uses a mirror effect, has half a card that pops up, and then it reflects the other half on the mirror. And you can use this in different games like Pontoon, higher or lower, and on the gamble feature. I won't go into too much detail on each machine because I'm trying to just do an overview of the whole arcade at the moment. Next one along, Crystal Maze. So this is Crystal Maze. It's Crystal Maze Team Challenge cabinets. This was a 4-player cabinet. I can't actually remember what game's in here at the moment, but I've got all 3 different Crystal Maze games. So I've got the original Crystal Maze, the Crystal Maze with the Aquatic Zone, and Team Challenge. This looks like it's the original game in here at the moment. The technology in here is based on MPU4 fruit machine technology. So it's the same board as what an MPU4 fruit machine would be. Just trying to think if I've actually got an MPU4 anymore. I think I've got rid of all my MPU4s. Yeah. It's the same MPU4 technology, but just with an additional video board in here as well. Again, fully working. You just switch out the game board for the one that you want. So if you haven't seen this game before, it's based on a TV series. The idea is you move from zone to zone to collect crystals. You can choose what type of game you want. So for example, let's choose a skill game, and then it plays a mini game. You get a certain amount of time to try and complete the objective. If you manage to complete it, it's going to be quite hard to do. So in this one, I need to just use the button to thrust, use the trackpad to rotate the ship. I have to collect all the it's going to be quite hard to do left-handed and with one hand, but collect all the green blobs wherever they are. If you do it in time, you get a crystal. If you run out of time, you get locked in, or you've got an escape button to get out without your crystal. This one here, this is what started it all off. This is the first fruit machine that I got, again from a guy in Swindon. I think I paid about 15 quid for it. I will never get rid of this one, as it was the first one that I got. Runs on Scorpion 2 technology. It's just a nice little machine. It's based on sort of British seaside humour. Get 3 postcards in a row and you start the feature going. As you go round, it starts to build up your sticks of rock, and you can either collect them at any time or gamble to go on. Let's just see how far I get.
It's a bit tight here.
There you go, so I could collect that feature. I've now got 3 bars. Nudges will give me £2 if I want those. 3 bars will give me 5 quid, that's probably my best bet at the moment. Looks like it's pushing. Broken rock, lost one of the sticks of rock. Is he going to go? No, okay. So, there you go, holiday rep.
I want to get your rock out.
No, she's let me off. Probably on borrowed time now. And there you go, game over. But yeah, nice little machine. This one, so this one is probably the next to go really. I'm out of space in here, I've got no space for anything new and it's a little bit tight. I like this one. Again, good sound effects on this one with the dodgy German accents. Very similar to the Italian Job game, if anyone's played that one, which I used to have, and I got rid of that one because again this was very similar to that. The idea is to get the 3 great escapes lined up and then you can go out onto this board here. And again, like the sticks of rocks on the other game, you've got 3 meters to fill up. This is my oldest fruit machine. This is an Adders and Ladders. This uses the old 10p's. This is based on a MPU 3 board. Let's just show a couple of coins in there. So the idea on this one, you get numbers. As you get the numbers, you move up the snakes and ladders board. Hit a ladder, just like the game, you move up. Hit a snake, you come back down. There's a feature held, it'll stick, otherwise you go back to the start all the time. Nice little machine. That's probably the most valuable fruit machine that I've got, because it is a bit of a classic, still in quite a bit of a demand, this one. Not reasonable condition, it's just missing some silver, I don't know what they are, but they're silver rings that go around here just to finish those off a bit. But other than that, it's not in bad shape. Okay, on to the next bit, the garage. This is Sega Strike Fighter. So Sega Strike Fighter was the game that I picked up from the guy near Birmingham with the Sega Rally 2 machine. Nice little machine. If you've never seen it before, it's on free play. You got pedals down here, which is your rudder pedals. You've got a joystick and you've got thrust. Different missions, from going and attacking oil rigs, desert facilities, or there's also a training mission as well where you've just got to follow the arrows basically. So it's saying,
follow the marker.
You know,
good, well done.
Get the arrow, get the aircraft into the arrow.
Now, making right.
How to turn.
First, tilt the good. Now pull the control stick to make the turn. Good. Well done. Next, missile training.
And how to fire missiles.
The marker is your target.
It's quite a big machine.
Close to the target. Lock on and fire.
It does come in a 3-screen version as well. And they've got that down at the Laser Quest in Swindon, the 3-screen version. Okay, 2 machines to go. The next one is a 2-seater Sega Rally. Just looked at those scores. All my scores have gone, so I've obviously got a problem with the real-time clock on these boards. They do hold the scores for a bit, but I haven't played this one for probably a month or so, and the scores have cleared by themselves. So, job to do, always jobs to do in here. I got this from Skegness, went up to Skegness from Swindon to collect it in Luton. In good condition, force feedback works, everything works. Obviously, you know, things like cigarette burns down there with its age, but other than that, it does work. You can play it in link-up mode, so you can play it versus. I have at one point had 2 of these, and we've played it in 4-player mode. But I've since scrapped the other one for spares, so I've only just got this one left. Bit of screen burn, which is fairly common with these sorts of machines. The 4-speed back works. It's nice and strong. And a lot of fun to play. The thing that does spoil it when you're playing 2-player is the catch-up mode. So the person behind will get a speed boost, and if you're trying to play it, if you're playing it against someone else that hasn't played before, then that's great. If you're trying to play it competitively, you can just sort of hang back behind the person, and you just know that you've got that speed boost just to get them right at the end, which is a bit of a pain. You can't turn it off. Let's go time out soon. Right, this is the last one. So the last one is Dance Dance Revolution. So again, a big machine, takes up a lot of space in here, but a lot of fun. Got a problem with this one again with the real-time clock on here. Every time I turn it on, the real-time clock is cleared, and I get an error message to say that I need to clear it as well. I know how to fix it, but it means desoldering the board, and the boards are expensive and fairly rare. And as of yet, I haven't been brave enough to try that, so I've lived with the error message for now. So let's turn up the sound, and we need to put it on free play mode, which is, I can't see it, coin options, here we go, free play, on save and exit, back to game mode. Right, I'm sure everyone's seen these before in the arcade. This is a spare screen for this, as this one's a bit cracked, to be replaced at some time. It's just loads of songs. Loads of songs. And you can either play 2 players or 1 player across both pads. That's it. That is it. That is a tour of the arcade. That's all the machines that I've got in here. Any questions, or if you want me to go into more details on a particular machine, because we've gone through quite fast, please let me know. Bye for now.